with me. And we go to page 141, it says, could we then foresee that troublesome people were to become our principal teachers of patience and tolerance? Could any then imagine a society which would include every conceivable kind of character and cut across every barrier of race, creed, politics, and language with ease? Now they're talking about the Alcoholics Anonymous side note. They're just talking about the language of the heart. It doesn't matter where you were, what your religious affiliation is. It doesn't matter what your sexual preference is, if you've even figured it out. First 2 years are sketchy. You know what I mean? Those things don't matter. If you have a desire to stop drinking, we have a set of actions and principles that will change your life. This is a program of action. It's not a program of whether or not I feel like it. When I was little, my grandmother raised me. She loved me. She loved me. Everything in me responded to her love. She loved me. In her love, I felt safe. I felt secure. I felt protected. I felt like nothing could ever harm me. If you ever had that type of love, I had it with her. When I was little, I was afraid of the dark, and so at night I slept next to her. And as she slept, I would watch her breathe. She would inhale, I would inhale. She would exhale, I would exhale. Because if she died, I wanted to die with her. That's the depth of love I had for my grandmother. My mother is an alcoholic. She's an alcoholic by her own admission. She was young when she had me. She was not done doing what she needed to do as an alcoholic woman. I didn't understand it then, but I understand it today. My mom is very well endowed. She believes in packing her pistol in her bosom because she's quirky like that. And so the way my mother would communicate her needs and wants is she would call my grandmother up on the phone. I always knew who was on the other end. My grandmother would grip the receiver real tight, and that little vein would pop out right in the center of her forehead. And so, you know, she would make some incessant demands, which my grandmother would look at the phone and respond, absolutely not. There would go the phone. A short while later, my mom would pop over and just shoot out all the windows. Now, let's just say I was really clear, I did not want what she had. There are other cousins and uncles in my family who also suffer from the disease of alcoholism. But that is not why I'm an alcoholic. The big book of Alcoholics Anonymous clearly explains to me that when I, not them, ingest alcohol into my system, it's going to set up a phenomenon of craving that will ensure I will do any and everything I have to do in order to get another drink. The way the disease manifests in my family is through a lot of violence. Now, a lot of the members favor shooting. I favor stabbing, tomato, tomato. Going to be present. So I'll just give you like a holiday at my mom's house. Okay, so my mother is an excellent cook. My mother's a big girl. She's an excellent cook. She cooks from scratch. I don't cook from scratch. Nor do I feel the need to. No, I cook by the box. And the directions on the box must be clearly illuminated if I am to prepare anything. So, if it says to measure a quarter of a cup, I must measure precisely a quarter of a cup, because if I go even a hair over, I will pour it out. I have to begin again. That is not how my mother cooks. My mother's like a smidgen of this, a dab of that. Fabulous creation will be had, right? So if she's cooking, I gotta go. Understand, you will get a meal at my mom's house, but it just may come with a little something extra. The way you want to gauge when it's time to leave is by the music that's playing. So I would go over, it's early afternoon, she's getting her drunk on for sure, but that's okay, because the music would be upbeat, the spinners, the four tops, it's okay, it's okay. You know, she's continuing to drink, Diana Ross and screams, we're good, we're good. She's drinking, it's early dusk, Sam Cooke, uh-oh. Yeah, because at the Sam Cooke juncture, okay, you want to get the plate, you want to get the foil. You want to lay them side by side. It's like a sprinter. At this point, you want to start getting limber. You want to get loose. By the time nightfall hit, Billie Holiday. The only word I have is run. You know what I mean? What's happened is a metamorphosis now has occurred. You know, about what's gone wrong, as reflected by the music, you know. And so now she's going to cry, and she's only going to cry for a minute or two, then she's going to get pissed off and want to fight, you know. And so you would get a meal, but it just may come with a little something extra, you know. So you might limp out, but you have food. And, you know, but I come to during your time, my friends were drinking and having a good time. I wanted to have a good time, too. Very simple in the beginning. But here's what happens for me when I take a drink of alcohol. When I take a drink of alcohol, I cease to care about you. Matter of fact, I don't care about you before I take a drink of alcohol. Once I take the drink, I'm now inclined to share with you that I don't care about you. So please resist the urge to pull me to the side and tell me how I have wronged you, how I have imposed myself upon you, because really, you know what I mean? And my friends would come to me, tear-stained faces and angst over what I'd done the night before, and they would want to tell me like everything. And I'm thinking, why? Did I ask you? You know what I mean? And so they want to tell me, you know what I realized? That we as alcoholics get over things way quicker than everyone else does. You know, 2 weeks later, they're still holding on to it. I'm like, girl, let it go, you know. And so they would tell me all this stuff, and then they would pause. So I would pause, for effect mostly, you know. And then I would look at them, sensing that they needed something, and I would say, well, that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but I don't know. You know, and so they talk about me in the book. It says that I step on the toes of my fellows, and they retaliate seemingly without provocation. Not only am I mashing toes, but I'm wearing the highest of heels at all times. I'm going to tell you who I am without the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous is I'm more of a column 1-2 type of gal. I live in the who you are and what you did to piss me off. It's not until I come into the program of Alcoholics Anonymous broken and devastated from this disease that I'm even willing to consider columns 3 and 4. What is this affecting? Is it my self-esteem? How? Is it my ambitions? How? Is it my security? How? Is it my personal relations? How? Column 4, what is my part? Because it says, did I not myself set the ball rolling? I'm making decisions based on self. It's creating mayhem. It talks about it, even in my best moments, I'm a producer of confusion rather than harmony. In my best moments, whip steps. That's weird. So, you know, I'm drinking, I'm doing my thing. I was working at this department store, Bullis Westwood. It's in California. It's no longer there, actually. It's a really nice department store. You know, when you're a teenager, you work in retail. It's okay. Normally, they schedule you on the weekends. I'm okay with that. But this particular weekend, there was a beach party, which, of course, equated to free booze. And so, you know, we already know I'm not going to work, right? But I can't just cold call. No. I got to get a character. You know what I mean? So, as I'm standing in the bathroom in front of the mirror, I can feel the sickness descend upon me. So that by the time I go to lift the receiver, I can barely hold it because I'm in a weakened condition. And I remember waiting for my boss to get on the phone because I'm about to tell this elaborate story. In my mind, it can't be simple because that's not believable. Like, the more outlandish, they'll believe it. And, you know what I mean? And so I wait for him to get on the phone, and my heart's pounding because I know I'm about to lie, right? And so he gets on the phone, and just as I begin, he put me on hold. Ooh, nice. Here I take the time to come up with this story for you, and you put me on. I don't think so, you know. And so what I did is I marched off to the beach party, and I shared that with you because that's how I drank. I did what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And if you hung out with me, you were going to do what I wanted you to do, or you were going to get gone. I am a team player, my team, you know. So the following year, I'm living with my godmother, and she was leaving for a week to attend the Black Caucus Conference in Washington.